It's your boy Paul Jervey. I'm excited, man, because this is our anniversary month. So I wanted to do something in March talking about marriage and money. And I asked my better half, I was like, yo, can you fit me in on your schedule? Because I want you to grace my people that watch me on Wednesdays during this power shot, and we just have a conversation about marriage and money. You see, she's already coming on my show, moving cameras and everything. She just moved the Instagram camera and all of that. So this is my baby. This is my wife. We've been together since 2009. We've been married for, was it 13 years? 12 years. So I added a year. Um, we have three beautiful children, a 13, 9, and a 4-year-old. And we've just been doing this life thing together, man. So, um, you know, tell my people, you know, who you is and what you do.
Hi, I'm his wife.
So yeah, man. So today, this power shot is going to be just talking about marriage and money. So this is part one. So we're going to come every Wednesday this month. We're going to talk about some type of marriage and money. Today, we thought it would be a good idea to talk about our origin story. Um, everybody has an origin story when it comes to money, like how you learned about it when you were younger, what it was like, with money, your experiences, and then how that translates into uh, bringing those experiences, that stuff into your relationship and into your marriage. So that's one thing that I wanted to ask you, babe, was and can I'm good. They can see me here on IG,
You're getting
and they
cut
can
off.
see me here. And I'm good. If y'all can see me good, right? So tell us a little bit about money for you, like what it was like, your origin story around money, how what you remember about money when you were a child, growing up, your experiences, that kind of deal.
I remember not having it.
Okay.
I grew up in, I think my family was like just making it into middle class. We grew up where we lived in a nice single family home in a nice neighborhood, all of the things, but it was definitely it felt like they were maybe barely making it. So I say we definitely uh, did not have a lot of money. I don't remember ever going on a vacation. I don't remember my parents ever saying anything about a savings account. I know when it was time for me to graduate high school, I did not believe that college was an option for me because that just wasn't a discussion, nor did I believe that we had the finances to afford that. So yeah, money was something that we didn't discuss,
Mhm.
and just from a child's perspective, it just seemed like we did not have a lot of it.
Got you. Got you. Mine's a little bit different. I mean, obviously we know each other's story and sharing it with you guys, but I feel like I had a real rich dad, poor dad kind of experience. My father, God rest his soul, he did everything in his power to make sure that my siblings and I had what we needed. He, college educated dude, was a engineer for GM, but pops had a drug addiction, and that addiction kind of took away a lot of the resources that our family could have had, that could have created more experiences.
Right.
We always had shelter, clothes, that sort of thing. So I learned what not to do with money by watching Pop. But God always has a plan, and I think that's why He put my grandfather, my mother's father, in my relationship, in my life rather, because that dude, he's a military man, and he opened up his checkbook one time. I remember asking him, like, "Yo, what you doing?" And I was young, I don't know, maybe 6, 7 or something like that. And he said, well, I'm balancing my checkbook.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And so he showed me what he was doing, and he talked to me about a budget, and he talked to me about his the rainy day fund. So old school cats talk about the slush fund
Mhm.
or a rainy day fund. So he talked to me about that, and then as I got older, he would take me to meet with his financial advisor and stuff like that. So I saw what to do with money from grandpa, rich dad,
Yeah.
what not to do with money from dad. But great dude, and always took care of me and my siblings, made sure that we had everything that we needed.
Yeah.
So when it comes to knowing your experience and everything with money, how did that I guess impact you when you started to have to manage money yourself as a single person? And then how did that how were you able to take that information and bring it into, oh, this is a good question, but bring it into the marriage? Like, how did that impact things?
So, having not having those types of conversations about budgeting or money or saving or anything like that, I didn't. So I was very much a when I get money, I spend it. If I have bills, I may pay them or not. So definitely a um, young adulthood full of debt and bad credit, and so coming into our relationship, um, it was like we were coming on two different spectrums, and
Hmm.
we didn't really talk about that kind of stuff when we first got together. So it was more or less like, okay, I'm gonna do me, kind of, sort of, and you gonna do you,
Hmm.
until we moved in together, and then
Hmm.
that kind of changed things. So yeah, it just it was a perspective change, because dealing with someone that does have some type of financial wisdom, not just knowledge, definitely helped me to change my perspective on how I dealt with money, moving forward.
Yeah, yeah. I know for me, like when I got out of high school, I ended up getting a internship with a bank that's no longer in existence. It's called ING Direct. And so I'm like 17, 18, making crazy money. And I just remember saving it, saving and
Hmm.
saving. And I never wanted to spend it. And I was so frugal that my boys used to, my boys used to laugh at me and crack all kinds of jokes because, like, when you're in college, especially like if you had a little bit of money, you would, want maybe go out to eat or something like that every now and then. And so like they would go out and they would order stuff. I would eat before we went out so that I didn't have to spend none of my money. And then I would also get I would make my own lemonade at the restaurant. I would get water and and some lemons and maybe a little sugar, and I'm telling, like, that's how I was. And I just, because at the time the money would be sitting in that ING Direct bank account getting like 6, 7, 8%. And I just let that joker keep on going. I would not spend a thing, So it was knowing, and I think the reason that I did that was because my grandpa was always like, you got to have money,
Yeah.
for emergencies, stuff like that. But like I never, and I don't know when I spent the money. I know I ended up doing it, but I think it was because I had to help mom dukes out.
Yeah.
But but yeah, coming into the relationship, I had this preconceived notion because both my dad and um, grandpa were very old school, especially grandpa. It was the man does everything, whereas pop was kind of nah, I'm gonna do my part, you pay this bill, wife, and I'll do that. So I was kind of conflicted as to how
Right.
things should work. And so we were able to start to have some kind of conversations initially, I recall, where we started out kind of doing the joint thing,
Hmm.
which I think that for anybody who is in a relationship, I think you have to have these types of conversations to understand where people come from,
Yeah.
and understand their money makeup.
Yeah.
And so you guys know when it comes to the Wednesday Power Shot, I always like to give you some nuggets and things of that nature, whether it's practical or spiritual. But we ended up coming up with 5 reasons as to why it's important to share your money story with each other. And reason number 1 is to prevent future conflict.
One of the top reasons for divorce is money. And so having a conversation around it is very important, right? You can't, hide what the money, because ultimately money makes the world and your family and all of the things that you need and care about go around. So having those conversations is definitely important.
And it's serious because as a financial advisor, and I've got, unfortunately, several clients going through divorce at the moment and have had others going through it in the past. Money has been at the forefront,
Right.
of a lot of that, from either, secrets or just not fully understanding each other. One person spends and the other person saves, and it's just constant conflict and not coming together. And so, and I think that that's why, God, and, I did a video about it a while ago. I personally believe that when you get married, you become one.
Mm-hmm.
So I got clients that, listen, y'all do what you want to do with your money. I'm just giving you my perspective. I believe that if God says that we just became one, that you should have your joint married account. And then, I maybe have my little fun money over here. You have your little fun stuff over there. And we pay our joint bills that we creating together out of both the monies. And you just kind of go from there. That's just me, but everybody else do their own thing. So it just prevents future conflict.
Yeah. I think on top of that, so if you have a joint account, right? But let's say one person is not fiscally responsible, then I would not say to give, yes, put your money together to pay your together bills, but one person is responsible. The responsible person is taking care of that way. The irresponsible person isn't spending your bill money.
Absolutely. And you'll see, I see it a lot of times where it's one that's going to be the saver and one that's going to be a spender.
Yeah.
And so, yes, you definitely want to have that one person who's going to be able to keep eye on everything and kind of let you know, yo, we're creeping up on budget territory this month, so we got to pull it back. Number 2 is it helps develop trust and transparency. Trust and transparency. So one of the I'll say the challenging parts for me early on was becoming a financial advisor. I came up old school in the business where she was there for the whole shebang. And so there was no salary for financial advisors getting started. You go out, you network, you knock on doors, you find your clients. And if you don't have a client that you can sit down with, that you can offer a financial product to, an insurance product to, you make no money.
Yeah.
So one of the things that was hard was to talk about, how much debt that, I was accumulating to try and make this dream of mine to be this advisor, because I just knew in my heart that I was good at it. It just didn't show up in the bank account yet.
Right.
And I'm telling you, she put up with a lot. It was very scary at some point because of my hard-headedness and just not getting a salary. But you have to have, I feel like you have to have those types of conversations so that your partner knows exactly where you are, especially if they're the ones that, go out and spend the money and stuff like that. You don't want them to run into a situation where they swipe the debit card or the credit card. And you remember Kevin Hart, was it Kevin Hart that was talking about? Yeah, it was on the one, Laugh at My Pain.
Yeah.
Where he was saying, give the guy the waiter the credit card, and he comes back, sir.
Yeah.
This doesn't work. Just wipe it off on your jeans. It'll probably work if you wipe it off on your jeans.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you do that transparency, it builds confidence and respect in your relationship.
Absolutely.
Number 3, helps you share goals. So share goals in terms of where, it just starts the conversation of, well, where do you want to be next year?
Mm-hmm.
Where do you want to be in 3 years? Where do you want to be in 5 years? And looking at where you are, and again, knowing where all the money is going and how your visions are. How can we put these two together to create this shared goal, this and create this shared life experience?
Right. Listen, I don't know addresses, but I know the Bible, right? So I know somewhere in the Bible it says two are better than one. And so, and this applies definitely in marriage, where if you are, on one accord,
Mm.
as you should be, and you're setting goals for your family and your even your individual, careers or goals or whatever, you have to be on one accord. But in order to get there, you have to be together.
Yeah.
One person can't be walking this way and the other person walking that way, because you'll
Yeah.
never get there.
Absolutely. And I've said this a lot on my Powershot Wednesdays. Proverbs 15:22 says that plans fail for lack of wise counsel, but with many advisors, plans succeed. So the Bible says that if you don't necessarily have that knowledge that you need, that it is okay to go find an expert, in
Right.
that area, so that they can assist you and your spouse with managing the monies, helping you formulate and identify those shared goals
Mm-hmm.
and how to get to those. Number four, it helps you make informed decisions. Knowing where you are helps you make informed decisions. And so sometimes, when you're looking at the finances, it's like, you want to be able to do certain things, especially like for those of y'all that didn't check out the masterclass that I did last night, you missed a great one. God showed up in that, your boy. Um, the principle of the double. Where I'm going to find ways so that I can get it out to everybody that I'm connected to on social media. But anywho, um, making informed decisions. It's like, and I put that plug in, and I literally just forgot what I was going to say.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where I was going with it. And the problem is that I feel like I'm too young to have those issues, but a lot be going on in the brain. But whatever I was going to say was going to be deep. It was going to be very deep. Because I always want to hit y'all with something deep.
Oh my God.
Like you weren't
Let
on
me
the
look.
on the call where you watched it, I think, where I was, because y'all need to go back and watch that one about David and Goliath and the debt one, because that one, huh? Okay, so make informed decisions.
Yes.
Yeah, again, if it comes back, I'll do a separate post on it, because I don't know where I was going with. And then the last one, number 5, is developing healthy habits.
Yeah.
Developing healthy habits. So when you, I believe that when you are open in the communication, the more frequent that you do it, the easier it becomes.
Mm-hmm.
And so because you do it on a regular basis, it can turn into a habit. And then you guys will start to see that you'll end up creating your own style of how you're going to communicate and how you're going to end up managing your money. You don't have to manage, money like you see everybody doing it on social media. You and your partner get together and you figure out what works for you. That's one of the things.
Yeah.
You take some, like you always say, eat the fish, spit out the bones. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? But you have to, at the end of the day, find something that is going to work for you. Have a foundation, but at the end of the day, allow God to guide you. Seek out wise counsel, and continue to watch me on the Wednesday Power Shot. And hopefully, by next week, I remember what I was going to say about that number 4, because I was ready to hit it and it was going to be good. I just don't remember it.
Yeah.
I don't remember. But we're up on that 15-minute marker, guys. And I made a commitment that I was only going to do 15 minutes, each Wednesday, just to give you guys insight on different biblical and financial topics. And this week, my amazing, my gorgeous, my beautiful, vivacious wife is going to be joining us every Wednesday this month as we continue to talk about marriage and money. So, ladies and gentlemen, this was part 1. As always, I catch you down the road. Deuces.